When people start looking for a property and get to the exciting part of actually saying, oh, I like this, and maybe thinking of putting in an offer, what I would recommend to many people is to have a list of documentation which you or your lawyer definitely, but you may want to just look at, okay? So what I've got here is a number of documents which I'm going to suggest you should ask to try and review and see what the property's documentation is all about. The first document I would suggest you ask for is what's called a Nota simple, okay? It is a short document, okay, but it's the registrar, okay, of the property. And it tells you quite accurately what the property is all about. All right, so it'll have the name of the owner, it'll have all its details in terms of if it's a company name, person's ID, and will describe the property, all right, in quite some detail in terms of the size of the plot of its house or a villa, what sits on it, and the square meters. It'll actually tell you if the property has any charges against it, if there's a mortgage. So it's a very good document to have an immediate idea and to understand the, if you like, the legal soundness of the property, okay? It's called a Nota simple. It's a very good document to look at, and certainly your lawyer will be asking that as the first document when he is talking to a vendor's lawyer and starting his due diligence. Another document, number two, let's say, is the cadastral document, okay, of it, okay? And you'll see that there's a photograph of the front of the property, and then it describes what the size of the plot is. Then, in quite detail, we'll go into the square meters of the property that you're looking at. It could be an apartment, it could be obviously a villa. These sometimes don't actually match the Nota simple, and that's not because there's something wrong. Many cases in Sotogrande, for example, the new numbers are done with satellites, and originally they were done by measurement, so they may be off a little bit. But your lawyer will be able to make sure all that is squares up. But the cadastral reference and the cadastral number is a very important number because it's where the property itself, okay, sits on the cadastral map of the whole of Spain. A third document to ask for a property you might be looking to buy is the EB. Now, don't accept the receipt that the EB has been paid. The EB document is one that it's called Impuesto de Bienes Inmobiliarios, okay? So it's the tax you pay on that property. And understanding what that is very important because on this document, you'll have obviously the references of the property and in particular the cadastral number, which I mentioned here before, okay? But it also gives you the cadastral value that they are going to allocate to that property, okay? It is considerably less usually than the actual price you may be paying because that is a different thing. It's the cadastral value of the property, and the tax that you pay is based on this cadastral value. Okay, so it'll tell you exactly what that is, how much is your tax on a percentage basis, and therefore it works it out and you understand exactly how they come to those numbers on your EB. Very important, you have to pay EB on any property you buy here in Spain. Another very important document to ask for is the community charges. Because in Sotogrande we are within a community, a gated community, all right? On top of your EB, which is the money you pay to the town hall for your tax, you have a community charge. And the community charge is to pay for the roads, the lighting, the communal gardens that you have, and the security in particular of the resort, okay? So every house will be paying, every house and every villa, apartment, whatever it is, will be paying a community charge. So get your eyes on one of these exactly for your property so you understand what that will be and how it's calculated. It's a good document to have and to understand your ongoing costs for your house. the energy certificate. Okay, an energy certificate gives you the ranking or the qualification from an energy point of view for your particular house. And if it's green, it's very good. As you get into the reds, it's perhaps less good. Okay, this is obviously a EU mandate that people have it. But the idea is that to get the carbon footprint down, that most properties, little by little, will be getting better windows, better doors, better insulation, better, less expensive power, and so that it becomes more energy efficient. I think, not yet, but over time, okay, I think they will begin to penalize properties that have bad readings, so that you are making an effort to improve the carbon footprint that we all believe, of course, we need to do. The energy certificate is a very important document that you will have to have, and in fact, the notaries will not allow a house to be sold if that certificate isn't available. A further document to ask for is the water bill. Okay, now obviously you may use more or less water than the previous owner of a house, but the water bill here is very detailed, you'll find, and it gives you exactly what you are using on a regular basis. Okay, so you have the amount of water that is being used for this particular property that you will be interested in buying. Therefore, understand what those are is very important to do. Similarly, you would I would suggest for a electricity bill, okay? Because the electricity bill will give you the amount of power that is actually contracted for that property, because you may want to have more or less contract of electricity within for your things. A big oven because you like to do pottery and you like to charge it up and have to dry things up, you will have more power required. And the energy bills here in Spain are quite detailed. I'm sure they are where you come from as well, and give you, exactly what you've contracted, exactly what you have on an ongoing basis, because you have a minimum, and then the rate at which you're using it and which they're charging you as well. Like everywhere in Europe, the companies are very competitive against each other, so they look to find out exactly, how much they are charging you. You can compare them, and therefore understanding that exactly is very important for anybody wanting to buy a property. Another document which is important is what's called the first occupation license. Okay, the first occupation license is a document which is signed by the mayor, the town hall, and basically it's saying that your house, the house that you're buying, is fit for purpose. This is particularly important. You can buy a house without one of these, but if you ever wanted to rent it, you will have to have a first occupation license. It is, I think, critical that that's one of the things that you ask your lawyer to ensure that you have as part of the due diligence. It just says that the house has been checked out by the town hall in terms of its occupancy, and that it's fit for purpose, that everything works and it's all there and working nicely. My name is Charlie Gubbins. Please DM me, call me, email me, whatever it is. I will be very happy to help you on anything to do with documentations when buying a property here in Sotogrande.